Picture this. You're lying awake at night, replaying a moment from years ago, something you wish you could undo. Regret wraps itself around your mind like a vine. But what if I told you that regret is not a weakness? What if it's one of life's greatest teachers? Why does regret feel like a wound that never fully heals? And yet, why is it also the very thing that drives us to grow? Could it be that regret holds a hidden power, a way to reshape not only our future, but also our soul? Remember Nelson Mandela's famous words, "I never lose. I either win or learn." Remind us that regret can be a teacher, not a tormentor. Let me take you back to 1947. A young man named Sidney Frank dropped out of Brown University because he couldn't afford tuition. For years, he regretted that decision, believing he had squandered his future. But instead of drowning in remorse, he used that regret as fuel. Frank went on to become a billionaire, revolutionizing the liquor industry by marketing Grey Goose vodka as a premium brand. And here's the twist. Decades later, he donated $120 million to Brown University, ensuring no student would ever have to drop out due to financial strain again. Regret could have paralyzed Sidney Frank, but instead, it transformed him. His story shows us that regret doesn't have to be a chain. It can be a compass. Consider the Japanese concept of kintsukuroi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. Like kintsukuroi, regret doesn't erase our cracks. It highlights them, turning our mistakes into something beautiful and meaningful. At its core, regret is the emotional signal that we've veered away from our values or potential. It's the mind's way of saying, this could have been different. But here's the problem. Most people let regret consume them. But here's the truth. Regret isn't the problem. It's how we respond to it. When we see regret as a dead end, we miss its transformative potential. The challenge, then, is not to avoid regret, but to embrace it as a catalyst for growth. Harvard psychologist Daniel Gilbert found in his research that people regret inaction significantly more than action over the long term. Think about it: the missed opportunities, unspoken words, or dreams left dormant are what haunt us most. The problem deepens when we misunderstand regret. Instead of using it as a guide, we suppress it, distract ourselves, or wallow in self-pity. This not only stunts our growth, but can even harm our health. A 2011 study published in Emotion revealed that unresolved regret is linked to chronic stress, which can weaken the immune system and lead to heart disease. But what if we could flip the script? What if regret isn't a sign of failure, but an invitation to change? Regret, in its essence, is deeply spiritual. It's a mirror that reflects both our humanity and our divinity, the mistakes we've made, and the immense potential we hold to rise above them. The Sufi mystic Ibn Arabi, in his work Fusus al-Hikam, wrote, "The wound of separation is the birthplace of return." This profound insight reminds us that regret, the pain of being disconnected from our highest self, can guide us back to alignment. Consider the concept of tawbah in Islamic spirituality, which means repentance, but also carries the root meaning of returning. Regret is not about punishment, it's about turning back toward the path we were always meant to walk. Even modern neuroscience echoes this wisdom. Research from the University of Toronto shows that when we process regret consciously, the brain activates areas associated with problem solving and learning. In other words, regret has a built-in mechanism to help us grow if we let it. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, emperor, once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Regret, then, is not inherently destructive. It's our perception of it, our resistance to learning from it, that causes suffering. And yet, there's beauty in regret. It means we care. It means we're alive and striving. As poet David Whyte so eloquently put it, regret is a universal companion, an unspoken acknowledgement of the road not taken, a reminder to pay attention to the one we are walking now. So, if we want to transform regret into a growth tool, here are 3 actionable steps. 1. Face it with compassion. Write down your regrets. Be specific. Then, instead of judging yourself, ask, what value does this regret reveal about me? 2. Extract the lesson. Regret is wasted if it doesn't lead to wisdom. Reflect on what you can learn. Ask yourself, what will I do differently next time? Research from Cornell University shows that reframing regret as a learning opportunity reduces its emotional sting and improves future decision making. 3. Take the first step toward change. Action is the antidote to regret. If you regret not pursuing a passion, take one small step today. Enroll in a class, make a call, or set aside 30 minutes to work on it. Remember, progress, however small, is a form of healing. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend. Remind yourself that mistakes are part of being human. Remember, regret is not a life sentence, it's a stepping stone. Regret is like a river, its currents can pull you under, or they can carry you forward. The choice is yours. Remember Sidney Frank. His regret didn't vanish, it transformed. It became his guide, his fire, his redemption. And so can yours. Rumi once said, "Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down." How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come? Your regret is not a sign of failure, but a doorway to a better version of you. What if, instead of running from it, you leaned into it, embraced it, and let it teach you? Imagine standing at the edge of a forest, looking back at the path you've traveled. Some parts were smooth, others rocky. But every step, even the missteps, brought you here. As the poet Maya Angelou once said, do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. So I leave you with this question. What if your regrets aren't chains holding you back, but wings waiting to carry you forward? The path of growth is before you. As you move forward, reflect on this. Your past cannot be rewritten, but your future is a blank page. Will you let regret write the story for you? Or will you use it to guide your pen? The power of regret lies not in what you've lost, but in what it can teach you to find.